Hey, Less Lethal people. So today I want to discuss a topic that's really important to me, and that is using these tools, these less lethal tools or lethal tools for self-defense. And it's something that I really feel is important because there's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of people, they start going down different rabbit holes, and we're living in a real crazy time now where things are changing uh, politically and out there, and you have all sorts of different people with different views, and people are running scared and losing it because they're afraid of, whether it's blue or red, both sides equally are nervous. And now is the time when things are going to happen. And we have a ton of these tools, but what good are these tools if we don't know what we're doing with them or they're useless? So this is going to be kind of a long video, and I want to show you a couple of things. This video is going to focus on concealed carry or everyday carry, even if it's not concealed, but it's going to be everyday carry with you. And I'm going to show you a couple of things I have behind me here, and I want to talk about them a little bit. So first thing I really want you guys to understand is on all my videos, I am not paid by any company. I only work with the less lethal and lethal, and whatever tools I work with them because I feel they're useful for me. They meet my needs for everyday use or for what I need them for. Yours may vary, so we're not really here to talk about these specific items in general. We're here to talk about them on a whole. So one of the most important things you need, regardless of whether you're carrying a real firearm or you're carrying a less lethal firearm, is a way to carry it. And if you're carrying it concealed or on your person, you need the proper belt. So there are a lot of belts out there. Now, I am not promoting a specific brand of belt, but I'm promoting a specific type of belt. And the type of belt you need to have is one that says this word, which we will not say on YouTube, but designed for a pew pew. So you need to have the proper belt. Tactical 511 makes them, this company makes them, it's called Next Belt. And just so that you know, I purchased this at a local sporting goods store near my house. I paid $59.99 for it. I didn't even order it on the internet. I was looking, I've had a couple of these Tactical 511 belts and they have lasted a long time. I get several years out of them, but then after a while they kind of wear out. You know, the Velcro, you got to clean out the Velcro, but they're really good. They work for me. So you can pick them up at like a Cabela's, you can get them online, you can get them at probably Bass Pro Shop. A lot of places do sell them. So this one is a little bit nicer. It has more rigidity to it, and it's what they call a ratcheting style belt. For those of you that know what a ratcheting style belt is, it goes in and it clicks inside, so you don't have to worry about making holes and things like that. But the most important thing about these is whether you're carrying something really heavy like a 1911 or you're carrying something really light like P365 or a little Byrna CL, it has the job to hold up both of them without having them sag or stick out in your shirt, tilt over, and being uncomfortable. Because if you're uncomfortable, you're not going to carry. That's pretty much what it is. You're like, I don't need it there, I'm going here. And that's when you're going to run into problems. You need to carry everywhere. So you need the proper belt, right? Doesn't matter which one. Some may be more comfortable than others. So you need one specifically designed for carrying, not a leather belt from Kohl's or from Walmart or wherever you go. You need one specific, and they cost money. Like they're all going to be, the minimum ones I've seen are about $50, and they go up from there to like $180, right? I don't know if you need that expensive one, but like I said, this one's nice. It was $60. This one I think I paid $50 for in the past, maybe. So something like that. All right, so let's move on from that. We're going to show you how they work after. The next thing you're going to need is your EDC launcher or weapon of choice. Now, all these launchers have had the CO2 removed from them. I have 3 launchers here. I have one that is very low power and is really, in my opinion, good for chemical rounds, and I do believe this is very good for chemical rounds. Then we have something in the middle, which is the BP50, and then we have something more on the higher power, which is, or out of the box right now, the highest power. And this is over a 50 joule launcher. I have it a little bit modified, and this is my Pistelli X68 that I carry. Now, if you look up here, you'll notice my BP50, my Demon, I don't have the cap in here because today, for our training purposes, we're going to use Bob and we're going to go talk about some different scenarios. We're going to pretend or use the Beeman BP50 in simulation as if it were a real pew pew. So even though it is not, I don't have one of the blue trainers, we're going to use this as our trainer for a real firearm instead. So you can substitute whatever launcher you carry at home for whatever reason. And most of them are all effective, right? We'll talk about that too during the video. So that is why we have this. We're using this as a substitution for a real pew pew. So let's get suited up and let's talk a little and let's meet over at Bob over here. And I'm going to be using this belt to start with today. And I'm going to show you how I wear it. Normally in the cold weather, I have a flannel or something over this, you know, which helps with concealed carry, but you don't have to. So let's go over to Bob and let's see what we got. All right, guys. So normally I'm out and about, have a little jacket on, especially this time of year, or I have my flannel over my t-shirt because that's how I like to dress in layers. Everybody's different, but I'm going to take it off for now. The most important thing here is that the launcher is covered because not the concealment part, but the fact that I have a situation and I have to lift up my shirt to get to my launcher or firearm fast enough to defuse the situation. Now, if you think about this logically, most situations that occur are not going to be 25, 30 feet away. If you're 25, 30 feet, and that's my big gripe is, a lot of people are talking about less lethal launches. Oh, that's not gonna hurt if you hit the person. 25 feet away, the burn is gonna do this, it's no good, blah, blah, blah. All this nonsense that's out there. If somebody is 25 feet away from you, you have to think of what the situation is or what's going to happen. There may be a road rage situation. That's a case where somebody's getting out of the car, you're in your car, you have a lot of options. We won't go into them at that point where you could try to get away or you have to engage the person as they get up to you, up close and personal. But most of the time, if somebody is far away from you, you're going to hopefully have a method of egress to get out of it. So if Bob is 15 feet away from me and he says, hey, give me your money, I'm gonna tell him, go see where you gotta go and I'm gonna get out. He's not on top of me. What the problem is that 95% of the situations that occur are going to be up close and personal. It's gonna be too late, he's going to be there. You're not gonna be 25, 30 feet away. And if you are and you shoot somebody with anything, whether it's a less lethal or a lethal, you're gonna have a much harder time explaining that, especially the further away they are. But usually it's like the person comes up to you, it's like, hey, you got the time, and boom, already you're in the middle of a stick up, or they're trying to get what you have. Or unfortunately, women, you even have more of a disadvantage because you have now a different type of assault that they could do, which also requires that they're on top of you, not across the room, okay? They can't physically assault you from over there. They have to be on top of you, touching you in order to do that. So that's the situation we're at. Most of them, 95, maybe even 98% of the times, it's going to be too late because they're on top of you already. Now you have an issue. So you have, number one, you have to get your weapon out while keeping them off of you for a split second or two to buy some time to use whatever you have. And this is where I'm going to go into when people say, hey, I saw so-and-so get shot by a Byrna Kinetic and they laughed it off. These are controlled environment tests, and they're not really, you have a guy that goes back 20 feet and says, hey, stand there and shoot me. Ah, ha, ha. He laughed, ha, ha, it didn't hurt. In reality, it's going to be completely, totally different. You're not going to be shooting somebody 25 feet away from you who's standing there, and you go pop with a kinetic round, whatever it is. It could Beeman, burner, whatever it is, pistol. You're going to be a lot of moving parts going on at one time, fast, and you're going to have an issue, and it's your life. Your life. So I don't want to hear people say, oh, I have to shoot him here. If I shoot him with the kinetic in the grill or in the melon, what's going to happen? This is your life. Okay, if this person is on top of you here, this is your life. You don't know what he's capable of doing. And I'm going to give you a quick story because this is going to be a long video. I had a situation about 4 weeks ago at work. There was a situation where two people were doing some meth in the house, and a young woman who was very small flipped out. She was in her 30s, and she wound up choking and strangling another man in the house, an older man, and unaliving him. All right, that happened while she was completely naked. You don't know where, and granted, this is a crazy story, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a big strapping person. It can be that little person who you least expect. You don't know what they have, what they can do to you, stick you, do anything to you. So if you're here, it's already on. That's it. You're engaged. Now, if you are using something such as a real pew-pew, a firearm, to protect yourself, what would happen is you have to get that out fast enough, and you have to keep this person off of you. So you need to have some sort of physical training, or you have to practice somehow. It's not just good enough to have this thing and shoot a guy standing still or a silhouette target and practice with it. You got to know, you got to either get your hands up and in his eyes to get him away from you. And I'm sorry, whether you stick your fingers in his eyes or you put a kinetic in his eyes, same thing, okay? I don't care what the courts say and everything. You've got to get this person away from you because they're going to potentially sexually assault you or physically assault you or whatever. You got to get this person away while you're buying time. So it's either a strike here or maybe a quick shot here while the other hand is getting ready to engage, or you may have to give a front kick just to push the guy away from you to buy you that second to get your thing out. So it's here. Now you have that second, you draw, and you're up. Now, if it's your real firearm, what you normally will have is your arm is locked in here up against your body for recoil, and it's pop, 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 center mass right here. Try to get out of the way so you can see. So it comes out, it's up, boom, and pop, 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 pop. That's if he has a weapon or whatever it is, and you have to resort to this, right? So it's pop, 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 and get away. And then afterwards, you scan and make sure there's no other threat, that his buddy isn't coming up behind you with the hypodermic needle or something else before you holster your weapon and back. Now, we're going to switch it up a bit. Now we're going to use a very weak low joule launcher. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be this, it could be an Umarex HDP 50, something with 12, 13 joules, does not matter. But you're gonna have the same situation. It will fit in this holster, so I'm just gonna keep it here. Now we're going to simulate using a less lethal launcher because you may not have a real firearm. You're this close. This only has, I don't know, 10 joules, 15, maybe, let's say 10 joules of power. Could be 8, each one is running different. But you're this close. It's on. they're all for you, right? You're buying time for a second. You have to get to your weapon, it's out. Well, obviously 8 joules is gonna do nothing if you hit them here. You also have chemical rounds in here, and you don't want it bouncing back depending on the wing, because you're up close and personal. So depending on how you have this loaded, that will depend the next step. And the next step is going to be where you're gonna hit them and what. I usually always keep a kinetic round first, because the kinetic round is, even if it's not super powerful, it's enough to shock a person for a second, so I have an extra second to move back or get away from there and go to my next thing. So I got him off of me, I did whatever I had to do, right? Just to buy time for a second. Even a whack to the tip of the nose, that makes the eyes water. Whatever it is, nose, eyes, whatever it comes out, whatever you're comfortable with. Whack to the ear, right? Smack to the ear with an open, when I say open hand, I mean fingers pulled all the way back, right? You wanna make them dizzy. You wanna hit that eardrum and make that suction, right? Whatever it may be, you got this out. Center mass is useless with 8 joules, right? It's useless with 10 joules, it's useless with 15 joules. It's probably gonna be useless with 20 joules. This area, it's useful. The neck, soft tissue area, 100% it's useful. Face, it's useful. Remember, you're fighting for your life. Criminals do not follow the rule book. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on you trying to attack you, assault you, take your money, or do whatever they're doing to you, right? So they're on top of you because they don't follow the rules. So you got it out. Right from here, if you have to jab them with that weapon, you jab them with the weapon. Doesn't matter, whack. Right from here, boom. Kinetic to the neck, gives you a chance to step back, and from 4 feet away, I promise you, a chemical round, even at 10 joules, in this area, you hit them in the eye, the face, whatever, it's your life. That's where they're getting it. So it's pop, maybe you'll miss the neck, right to the grill. That's just what you have to do. And it will be effective, because now you have more time to turn around, run, get the heck out of there, look around, assess the situation. You may have to get out there after your shot, boom, it's out. Make sure it's right there. You may have to take a couple of shots, pop, 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 with your less lethal. But I promise you, even 10 joules in this area and 10 joules with a chemical round, I don't care what any YouTube cowboy tells you, it's going to be beneficial to you. All right, he's going to have to pull powder out of his eye, pieces, whatever, and it's going to be a shock. He's not going to know right away what he got hit with. You have a few seconds to get out of the way. That's what the goal of this is, to get out of there. He was just trying to take your life. So whether you do that with this, now the nice thing about it is you could pull the trigger and pierce with this. Well, what happens if we have one that you just used your hand now, and now you drew it? Well, now you have a couple of other options from here, right? One is whack on your knee. It will 100% work. Just up, we don't have whack. And you're engaged. 2, whack, and it's engaged. What's worse, he has his hand out, and I'm doing it this way. If you smash that on his hand, I promise you're going to break his hand too, because we used to do a technique in martial arts, crown knuckle, ippanken they call it in Japanese. It's a small concentrated, it hurts. If you punch somebody in the hand with a full fist, it's not going to do the damage the one knuckle is going to do over here. Practice it on yourself just lightly, because you can break your own hand, your own carpal bones here by hitting it too hard, and you'll feel what I mean. If you have to, he gets smashed with that. right? Smash, smash, smash. And trust me, 50 joules, I would fire once sternum at 50 joules. That would be my warning. If after the first shot to the sternum doesn't work at 50 joules and he's still coming, he's going to have chiclets for teeth. That's it. And God knows what else. We've seen what this does to a ballistic skull. So, you know, if he don't get off you after this thing's been engaged either on him or he took one to the sternum, you trust me, he's going to feel that right away. If he doesn't stop for a second and say, oh my God, well, you know where the rest are going. And yes, you can from here. You may have to even go and engage him here. If he's coming at you, now he's on top of you, you may have to. He may still advance. And if that's the case and he's on top of you, he's eating that launcher. He's eating whatever I have. I'm feeding this to him because it's my life. My wife doesn't need to be a widow. Kids don't need to be parentless. Parents don't need to be childless. That's it. This is not, hey, I shot Johnny 25 feet away and he laughed it off. Hey, what does that do? These tools are there for you to get out of there safe and sound. Now, I know people are going to start complaining and say, well, you know, you're not supposed to hit him in the... It's your life. He's not following rules. You're doing something here using less lethal to prevent taking his life. He's lucky he's not swallowing lead. So I want you guys to kind of think of when I hear this, oh, this launcher doesn't work. This launcher's not good. Oh, it's too weak. Oh, I need something more power. You need to train. You don't need a new launcher. You need to keep the launcher you have, and you need to be versatile and train with the launcher you have. If you're carrying something like this, you need to train with something like this. If you're carrying the real deal, you need to train and do dry fire and get those laser bullets for the dry firing in the house. If you're using something that's just chemical and less lethal, you need to train with this. This can be effective, but you're going to have to switch it up. And guys, I like it. I'm into the hobby as well as the defense. I like making different accoutrements, extended magazines, this, that. I understand you add 1 or 2 more rounds, but these guys that think they're going to buy mag holders and do you're not doing a tactical reload. If you got to do a tactical reload with the less lethal launcher, you got the wrong tool. Even a real firearm, you're going to really have to explain that. I mean, most real firearms carry 16 rounds in them. Even a California compliant at 10 rounds. If you can't get the job done within 3 to 5 rounds, you know, you got to get out of there. That's the thing. Pop, 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 whatever you're popping them with, and then run. Get out of there. Get out of the situation to a safe spot before you can call 911 to help you. That's the next thing. Then you call 911, right? So we got to start using our brain here and not saying, well, I saw so-and-so get hit and it did. Trust me, you didn't see so-and-so get hit multiple times up close or in the face with it or in the eyeball with it. And I'm not saying you have to be, well, I could shoot the guy in the eyeball from across the... No, you're not going to be doing it at 30 feet and the guy is moving. But there is a good chance you're going to be struggling, wrestling with the guy, because I see it all the time, and that's how most real firearm attacks go. 98% of them, the guy is up here and you're in close, and you got to get this guy off of you. So you're giving him a couple of shots. Your arm is tucked in over here because of the recoil, and you want it to stay right. You're not even aiming. You just pop, pop, pop. And then you get back, assess the situation, holster your weapon when you realize nobody else is coming to attack you. And it's the same thing with the less lethal. So, guys, if you don't, I mean, not all of us can go out and spend money and buy a bob, but you can make something at home, you know, whatever it may be. You can get a cardboard tube cylinder and put a silhouette on that and practice where the eyes are striking. And you don't have to do it hard. Like you would go to the gym and train, you have to train at home with something. You have to get creative and make your own training utensils too to simulate. And after a while, it becomes like muscle memory. You know, your hands are open, boom, get away from me. That might work too. Just, he may not expect you. Once you take out their eyes and you poke them in the eyes, or once you ring their bell, you may not have to use a chemical or a kinetic or a real weapon. That may just be enough to stop them, but it may not. And if it isn't, this is your life. And having something is better than nothing. No, you don't take a less lethal launcher to a gun battle. Obviously, you don't do that. But if this is all you have, you're not going to say, well, you might as well take my life because this is all I got. Who would say that? You're going to use whatever you have. Your teeth, anything, bite, punch, kick on top of it. So you got to start getting in. You got to have a mindset for this. A real mindset. It's not what we see people doing, holding a little a wooden board here. Boom, boom. Oh, I breathe it. It's going to be a different story when they take one from 4 or 5 feet away right in the eyeball. All right, or in the face, which you might have to do because it's your life. So let's start focusing on training and not on the best modification or the best new launcher that's out on the market. Oh, this one's going to change my life. This one has 17 joules. Well, mine has 50 joules. It's going to be useless if you're sitting there when the time comes and you're like, humming, what do I do? The guy isn't 30 feet away from me standing still. The guy is on top of me. My arms are moving. I'm going at it. You can make anything work. There's a million ways to skin a cat. But instead of buying the latest, greatest thing, start making some training equipment and start practicing. That's the only way it's going to work. And get the right equipment. You have the right belt. That's important. Or if you don't carry on a belt, then you have a crossbody bag. Get one that you know how it's set up. So when that thing opens up, boom, your hand is on your launcher. The only bad thing about the crossbody bag too is, which I don't like, is that can be used against you as a weapon. They can now use that and pull back and choke on you, and you don't want that to happen. So the crossbody bag is probably not the best choice if you can carry something like this. If I have a real firearm on me, this thing is small enough I could keep it in my pocket of my jacket or coat as well, because I may want to use this and not use the firearm. He may not have a weapon. He may not be so menacing. He may just be, looking to bust some chops, and then in that case, maybe I can hit him over here or in the neck and explode this and do the job. Or another thing which you all have to have, whether you have a less lethal or a lethal, you need some sort of, I use gel, I won't use spray. And the reason why this is all like this is because I keep it in a pocket with my keys and other things like that. It gets scratched up, but every 2 years, get yourself a new one. I use Sabre Pepper Gel. You could use anything you want, Bad Guy Repel, whatever it is, but get a good gel. Don't buy a gas station one or one that's in a perfume bottle or in a lipstick that looks like a novelty. Buy a good law enforcement grade one that has been proven. That's the other thing. You may have that in your pocket, and you may have a real firearm on you, or you may have your less lethal. You may use that, and now that didn't work, and now you're out of projectiles in this. Well, I promise you, that on top of this, or vice versa, you may use that and he still may come, and then you may have to pop a few powder rounds at him. It's going to stick to him with the gel. It will eventually kick in, but you got to buy that time to either get out of there. And guys, if you're sitting there, I'm sorry, eating donuts every day, smoking, drinking, doing that, you're not doing the right thing by your health for a self-defense situation. Because let me tell you, It usually lasts 30 seconds. And in those 30 seconds, if you're not in decent shape, there's a good chance you can have a heart attack. So we don't want that happening either. So getting out there and doing regular exercise, I'm not saying you have to go to train like Mike Tyson, but walk a few times a week, maybe jog, maybe get on the elliptical, the bike. Keep yourself in good cardio condition. That's part of self-defense too. You're defending yourself against sickness, disease, and you're defending yourself against the person who most likely doesn't go out and train every day. Don't forget, these people, if they did all that stuff, they'd probably have a job. They wouldn't be looking to take your money or rob or hurt you. Okay, so it's the people, you got to realize the people that do this, they're usually sit and wait predators that like to take advantage of people that look weak, who aren't paying attention, or are less fortunate than they are, or look to be less fortunate than they are. So they're predators that are preying on weak. It's like the eagle that preys on the rabbit. That's it. So, don't be a rabbit. Do something about that. And only you could, it's all part of training. And, that's really, it in a nutshell. There's lots of different techniques we can go on, but the biggest technique, you got to get yourself physically and mentally prepared for what can happen. I have 101 stories. I could do a story day for you. I've seen a lot of weird stuff in the past, I'll say 8-9 years. It's just, things are going to get wackier too, People are losing their mind out there. And you don't know what situation you're going to be in. It's not all going to be the same. But one thing I can promise you is when it does go down, you're probably going to be close. It's probably going to be a very close interaction. It's probably not going to be from 30 feet away, goodbye, I'm out of here. Get in my car, go walk somewhere else. Now, if they keep coming at me, well, now we got a problem. Right? And we're always given verbal cues. Leave me alone, get away from me. If you have to, this says it all right here. Get away from me. Otherwise, we're going to escalate to the next continuum of force. I'm not playing with you, get away from me. You don't have to yell and curse at the guy. You could yell once, raise your voice, scare him, but if they keep coming at you and you have nowhere to go, you got to engage. And you got to use whatever you have and make it work. That's it. Sorry to rant and go on about these things, but I see a lot of nonsense now on YouTube with all these things. And granted, great launches are coming out there. You may want to up it and get another one, but it's the same in the firearm community. Everybody thinks the latest thing that came out, the new whatever, Glock V, it's going to be great, or it's horrible. The other one, it's shooting the same 9mm slug. Are you training with that? Or 9mm hollow point, whatever. Doesn't matter. Glock, Smith & Wesson, Springfield Armory, doesn't matter. Byrna, BP-50, HDP-50. Know what you got and know how to use it. Don't keep buying the next one because you think that's going to be the answer. Train, train, train. Doesn't matter. If you got a Pepper Ball TCP, that's what you got. And you got to know how to use it. You got to know how to engage it. You got to anticipate and practice for different situations and scenarios. You got to burn an SD or LE. You got to, trust me, those 4 or 5 extra joules in the first shot are not going to be life altering. What's going to be life altering is how you react when you are right here and engaged. That's what's going to be. So guys, stay safe. Sorry if I came off a little abrasive to you, but this is the way it is. And at least it's the way I see it. And I want everybody to stay safe and get home to their families at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. Stay safe. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And God bless.